Hi, I'm Francis Lam, and I'm going to talk to you about Ratatouille today. My Ratatouille is my single proudest dish. It's awesome. It's totally like weapons grade. The flavor is crazy intense. It tastes so much like deep summer. You swear you've never been more alive when you eat it. And there's a secret, and I'll show you the secret. And the secret is, it is not actually hard. It is not, in fact, a test of my cooking ability. In fact, like any fool with 2 hands and a lot of time on their hands can do it. But the key to the secret is, it is really, really, really long and really, really, really boring. So you make it with olive oil, a head of garlic, 3 chopped shallots, 1 large onion. And once you get all in there, lower the heat. You really, really, really want to take your time with this. You don't want to brown it too fast. You're not trying to like char the onions. You're not really trying to char the garlic. What you really want to do is add a little salt. Just a couple of pinches, not a whole lot. And the name of the game really is cooking out water. All these vegetables are delicious, but they're even more delicious when you take all the water out and concentrate all the flavor, right? So with onions and shallots, there's a lot of water in them. So you add a little bit of salt, the salt starts to draw out the water. You keep stirring, you stir once in a while. You don't have to sit here and like really be maniacal about this, but you want to stir once in a while to make sure nothing is browning too much on the bottom. You don't want a whole lot of color. You want to cook it all down to the onions and garlic and everything just really soft and smushy. While the onions are cooking, I would seed and dice my red bell peppers. I have 2 large ones here. I've already done it, so you don't get to see me do that, but I promise it was very exciting. And really, don't really sweat the cut of the peppers because you're just going to put it in a food processor or a blender and puree it anyway. They should look pretty liquidy. They should be pretty frothy. It's not very attractive. It's not very appealing. But what happens is, what it means is you've broken up a lot of the cells of the peppers and a lot of the water is released. So when you put it in the pan, that water will cook off and concentrate the peppers. And so now after about 20 or so minutes of cooking the onions, they should have this sort of pale straw color. They should smell really aromatic. It should be really sweet. You're not really looking to caramelize the onions, like in a really sort of sleazy smear on the burger kind of way. You just want them really, really soft and really kind of golden. And to that, you're going to add your peppers. Now you can bring the heat up a little bit, just to get it to a little bit of a boil. Add a couple pinches of salt, not a whole ton because you're really going to concentrate it, so you don't want to make it too salty. Now here you go again. You give it a stir, you hang out, you give it a stir, you hang out. And now that it comes up to a boil, you want to turn it back down. Again, very, very lazy simmer. This will actually even take longer than the onions. This might be an hour. You know, it's really hard to say, but you really, really, really want to let them get friendly. You really want to let the vegetables have time to really stew down together and be like, oh, hey, what are you up to? Oh, hey, what are you up to? So once again, while your peppers are cooking, you know, I like to prep the next stage of the vegetables. In this case, 4 pounds of tomatoes. So after about an hour of cooking the peppers or so, what you're really looking for is the oil to come back out. When you put the peppers in, originally, it was this big sort of saucy thing. And now, if you've cooked all the water out, the oil will release and it'll start to kind of fry it. So what you want to see is a frying action. And again, you want it very, very soft, very concentrated, really rusty colored. By this stage, I like to add the tomatoes. So now it's Groundhog Day, basically. You're doing the same exact thing you did before. You're bringing it back up to temperature, you're getting it to a nice simmer, and you're cooking and stirring. And because there's so much water in tomatoes, this is really where you have to buckle in and just be ready to be here for 2, 3, honestly, I've stood here for 4 hours before. So after a couple hours of cooking, I like to actually switch to a spatula because what you want to make sure is if there's any kind of browning around the corners of the pot, any kind of caramelization, that's a great thing, but you want to stir it up. You want just kind of smush it around in the vegetables until it picks back up so it doesn't burn. And you'll know it's ready when it really turns into this thick, pasty jam. Like, it should be able to slide around the pot. It's going to feel a little weird. It's almost like Play-Doh in a funny way. But you want to be able to get it really gooey and really smushy. And this is your savory tomato jam. So, ratatouille, zucchini, eggplant, just dice, salt, pepper, olive oil, hot oven. And you want to think of this as almost like a dressing, like a super, super awesome dressing. Just kind of fold it in. And here you go, like 24 hours later, weapons grade ratatouille.